Hello. Welcome to School Days, Help for Moms and Dads of School-Age Kids. I'm David Bailey.
And I'm Hunter Paris, and I kicked Doneda out of the studio today. I'm taking over.
I'm sorry, what? You kicked my wife out of the studio today?
I did. It's my time to shine. So I'm here, and we got an exciting show lined up, and I can't wait for it.
All right. So today, as we mentioned, this is our kid takeover episode. I am swarming with tweens and teens and high schoolers and almost boys to men. I don't know how to. You guys remember the group Boys to Men? No, you look like I'm crazy. Okay, so anyway, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
My dad's a big fan. So
awesome. Yeah, you guys, you need to learn the history, children, history.
The Boys to Men.
Yes. But today we're gonna get the perspective of students. Every episode that we do, we're always talking about where our recommendations to parents and sharing how to help kids. Well, they're going to help us today, parents. We're going to hear from them what they feel about different topics and where they're coming from. And we know that this is a microcosm of children, but we want to hear from them so we can learn from them as well. It's not just us telling them, but we can learn from our children as well.
For sure.
As always, as we say at the beginning of our show, it takes a village. If you hear a great parenting tip from a child or a great nugget of advice from a child, share it with other parent friends, Facebook it, Instagram it, tweet it, link it in, and add the hashtag School Days Show and hashtag I Am School Dazed.
Also, we do want you to be a part of the show. If you have any questions or comments, give us a call at 214-431-5062.
Okay, so first thing we are going to do is we're going to introduce our guest today. Hunter is a junior at Argyle High School, and he's currently involved in football. What position do you play?
I play defensive tackle.
All right, wonderful. And he's also the in-game announcer for the girls and boys basketball team and the girls and boys varsity soccer team. He has previously worked as a youth football announcer this past fall. He's an aspiring sports broadcaster and plans to attend college to pursue his career. Do you know where you want to go? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Texas Tech is obviously up there, and then there's a school in Florida that I'm looking into for sports broadcasting. Dan Patrick School of Broadcasting out there. So I'm looking around, and I got a little bit of time to make my decision.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So basically, he doesn't know yet. So we'll have to come back to you on that one. He enjoys watching and playing all types of sports, and enjoys spending time with family and friends.
One of our guests today is Ali Baran. It's short for Alana Catherine. She's named after both of her grandmothers. She was born in Arlington in 2005. She has a lot of interest, starting with karate. She is a brown belt, and she's on the competition team at her dojo.
Oh, okay. Hey,
I see you.
Don't mess with Allie. She will jack you up. All right, anyway, keep going.
She plays volleyball for her middle school, and she last played soccer last year. She loves to paint, bake, and decorate, especially when she bakes and uses fondant. So a little Buddy Velastro Cake Boss action.
Okay.
I see you.
I see you, Allie. I see you.
She has a business with her mom called Allie's Baubles and Beads. She goes to the market and buys merchandise, then sells at home shows in a store. And she has a store in Arlington called Gracie Lane.
Entrepreneur action going on too. Okay, I see you.
Mm-hmm. She's a peer minister with her life teen group and an altar server at her church. Mm-hmm. When she graduates high school, she plans to go to Texas A&M, but you already know it's hooking, baby. And she wants to become a nurse practitioner.
Isn't it interesting that she knows more where she wants to go when she's younger
than I do?
Yeah.
And she's in middle school.
Exactly.
Gosh.
Focus.
I need to step it up. For real.
Well, welcome, Allie. We're really glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And then finally, we have Ava Nicole Dedman. She is 11 years old and goes to Duff Elementary School. She's involved in safety patrol, library club, choir, orchestra. She was the Spelling Bee 2018-2019 winner.
Jeez, man.
Winner, chicken dinner. All right, Ava, I see you. She also loves to play the guitar, piano, and cello. Maybe you must maybe maybe like a Prince. You guys know who Prince is?
Oh yeah,
The singer,
Purple Rain, baby.
The Prince.
Yes.
Ava, do you know who Prince is?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes, we're making
I see
fun.
him, I see him.
Yes, I see you. She's also an actress, and she aspires to attend. Wow, she wants to go to A&M too.
Gosh, how do you guys already know that?
All
There
right.
you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
come on.
focused, and she wants to
Welcome.
become a vet and wants to play the cello in college. So, ladies, we are so glad you guys are here.
Sure.
Hunter, we're glad you're here as well.
Thank you, sir.
And
Appreciate it.
we're gonna dive right on in. So let's go.
Let's go.
This is open ended. So let's just dig in. So, what's one of the biggest challenges you personally face as a student?
I can answer this one myself. Honestly, it's more the balance, balancing everything out. You know, I do announcing for my school, as well as school on top of that, and as well as football. Especially in football season, it's a grind because football season intertwines with basketball season. So you know, one day get off of practice at 6:30, and then I got a game to announce at 7. I don't get home till like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So you just gotta find a balance that works for you, and you just gotta keep grinding for sure.
All right, ladies.
Keeping up with all my sports that I do. I did volleyball during the season. It's over now, but it would be from 4:15 to maybe like 5 or 6, and then karate started around 6:30. And I would have to like get to volleyball, and like right after that I would go straight to karate for about an hour, and then I would have tournaments on Saturdays, and I also have competition team on Saturdays. So sometimes I would have to skip volleyball, go to karate, or skip karate and go to volleyball.
That's a grind right there.
Wow.
Wow.
Plus,
And-
you got to keep up with your grades
And
too.
then I
Yeah.
did Revolution for soccer, and I went to karate 5 times a week.
Oh my.
And then I would have to fit in soccer in between karate and volleyball, and I realized that I need to give up something. And I know karate is my passion, so I decided to give up soccer.
Wow.
Man.
I want to. I'm going to come back to that in just a second. Ava, because there's a question. There's a question there. Ava, what about you? What are some of the biggest challenges you face?
Sometimes all the classwork we have, because like last month we had open house and there were so many projects that we had to do, and I could barely keep up, but I got through it because I just came in at study hall and stuff like that.
There you go.
Yeah. So for you, it's a lot on the academic front.
Sure.
Allie, I want to ask you. So you had and still have a lot of stuff on your plate. But you chose to give something up.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
was that parent encouraged, or did you come to that realization for yourself that you had to give something up?
I came to that because my parents would always have to take me, and it got a little stressful for me because I would get really tired because we would run so much in soccer, run so much in karate, run so much in volleyball. I'd get really tired,
Yeah.
and I didn't have any breaks. So I was like, my parents were like, do you want to stay in all these sports? I feel like you're getting a little overwhelmed, because I would also have to fit in schoolwork.
Right.
And I would just be tired, and I wouldn't want to do anything when I got home, and I still had responsibilities when I got home.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that I needed to give up something, and
Yeah.
Volleyball season is just for like one season,
Uh-huh.
and soccer was going to be through like the whole year
Yeah.
and plus another year. So I realized like karate is my passion, and I don't want to give that up. So I don't think that soccer is like going to be good for me right now. So maybe that's what I give up.
That's a very mature decision to make at such a young age. So
That
good,
is, for
yeah,
sure.
Good job.
Next question. We'll keep it rolling here. Do you guys keep up with your grades personally, or do you place that responsibility on a parent? Allie?
I put that upon myself. I'm very hard on myself about my grades. I always want all A's, and just if I know that I can get all A's, I know it's possible. And if I make a really high B, I ask my teachers for maybe some extra credit, because I always get like the AB honor roll, and I'm trying to get all A's this year.
Uh-huh.
And my parents are like, they know that I keep up with my grades myself, so they don't have to really like worry about me all the time. They ask me sometimes about it, like, how are you doing, and I'll share with them my grades, and I'm really hard on myself about it more than my parents are.
Okay. So for so you know at any given time what your grades are, so nothing is a surprise to you.
Yes,
So
sir.
you go into the grade system and check your grades and everything?
I go to Skyward, and I have.
Yes,
Yeah.
good old Skyward.
That's what we have. so.
Yes, yes. Ava, what about you?
I usually keep up with my grades myself. Like sometimes my mom helps me with homework, but this is like the first year I've gotten all A's so far.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Good
And
job.
yeah, I've been keeping up with my grades myself.
All right. Is it a little more motivating, Ava, when you see for yourself where you are, or maybe you're right on the bubble there, either going downward or going upward? Does that motivate you to want to keep up with your grades?
Yes. Like when we get our report card and progress report, if I have like a B, I say I have to bring my grades up, or like in my report card, I'm like, I gotta keep it up because I have all A's.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so now I'm gonna ask, as a parent, do you ever feel like the parents can put too much of an emphasis on grades? Do you? I know we have different parents out there, and different parents have different philosophies about it. But how do you guys feel about the parents kind of hovering around, keeping up with you? And did you know you took this quiz yesterday, and I see that your grade dipped 3% in one day, and what are you gonna do? So tell me how you guys feel about that.
So my mom, she has Skyward also, and she gets emails if I make below a 70 on things.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do, she'll let me know, and I appreciate that sometimes because sometimes I don't look at Skyward immediately. But she never really pressures me to where I feel uncomfortable. She just tries to talk to me about it and what happened. Do we need help? How can I help you with it? And so I tell her I'm taking care of my teacher, he's gonna let me correct it, or she's gonna let me correct it,
Yeah.
or I'm getting extra credit. I already know about the grades, so I already fixed it.
Yeah.
But my mom, my mom and dad have put me in tutoring, and that's really helped with my grades. She's a great tutor, and I like her a lot.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
All right. Ava, how about you?
My mom never really pressures me for to get good grades, but I always tell her what I get on tests and quizzes, but she never really pressures me that much. She just checks in to see if I get good grades and stuff like that.
Okay, and so if your grades dip below your expectations or below maybe her expectations, how is that handled in your household?
Well, I'll tell her about it, and then I'll try to bring my grade up. Usually if you get below a 70, you have to retake the test or quiz anyway, and so I usually just redo it and make my grade better.
Sure.
how that's held in my household, if I make below a 70 or whatever, and I just couldn't understand the curriculum, and I was distracted, maybe electronics, Fortnite out there.
Well,
I
Shout
do.
out all my Fortnite gamers
I
out
play
there.
Fortnite.
oh, are you a serious gamer?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
We
my.
gotta
I
hit a
play-
duo one day. Come on,
Parents, go back to our very first episode on gaming. We talked about the effects of gaming on students. Anyway, keep going.
Okay, so
It's fascinating to me.
my mom, she'll be like, okay, well, this week since you made this grade, it's not acceptable. You're gonna have to not be on electronics this week, and
Man.
I have to give that up, and it's sometimes really hard because
It
you
hurts,
get
doesn't
so
it?
attached to it, and well, I actually went off from it from a week, and I would just study, and I made better grades on my tests because I feel
Oh.
when you're onto something your Fortnite, and you're oh yeah, I studied it, but then you just want to get through it really quickly so you can go play with your friends.
Right.
So that's how it's held in my house, and if it still continues to be a problem, then my sport gets cut.
Oh man, no,
Ouch.
can't do that.
Mm.
So that's why I have to
Wow.
keep up my grades, but I don't ever have that kind of problem.
Yeah, but it seemed like what you did notice was that when you were the eagerness to get back to your game allowed you to become a little less focused on your work. Maybe you got your work done per se, but it wasn't done to the best of your ability because your motivation was more so to get to what's after versus getting to make sure you're understanding the content well, and you recognize that, and you saw that when you moved that out of the way and focused more on the academics, that the academics actually went up. So that's a very interesting self-observation. Hunter, what do you got to say about that?
Obviously when I was a little bit younger, my parents, I think, cared a little. I mean, my parents obviously care now, but I was punished a lot harsher back then. I got my first C in high school freshman year, and my parents were unbelievably upset about that. And, I've worked hard since then, and I've taken that punishment and I've used it as motivation. And I haven't gotten a C since then. All A, B honor roll. I try to aim for 85 above and everything I can. I obviously try to aim for all A's, but I'm taking some AP classes, and sometimes that's not. It's a very lofty goal.
Yeah.
Obviously, but obviously when I was a little bit younger, the punishments were a little bit harsher. But I don't think they put too much emphasis on it because they just want the best for you out there, and I understand that. But they just want you to get into college and get a good job and make a lot of money. And sometimes I think there's a little bit too much of an emphasis, but obviously I think, So
Yeah.
yes, sir.
All right. So let me ask you this. I want to flip it a little bit. So you all three, I'm very first of all just amazed at your drive and motivation as students. That you don't need. You have support and you have, consequences and you have, all those things around you. But for the most part, you know what you want and you're going after it and getting it on all fronts, which I think is great. Now, as a teacher, former teacher, and, Ava, because I taught with your mama.
Yeah.
Just a little history there. I taught with Ava's mom. I remember Ava was just a wee little child, and now she's all growing up. Anyway, that's just my age talking. But okay, so let's flip it let's say hypothetically that you had all C's, and you're like, I don't even know what that means. But or maybe you were failing a course. Just put yourself in that mode for a second. How would you want to be encouraged to move back in the right direction? What type of support would you want a parent, not necessarily think about your parents, but just the parents out there, how would you want to be encouraged to get back on the right track?
I would suggest that you put them in tutoring. And I feel like if you fail something that you should want to not, because if you don't care and you tell your mind, I can't do that, you can't do it. You have to tell your mind you can. You have to study. You can't just I'm just going to pass this test. You have to put your work into it.
So I'm talking about note to my wife, babe, I think that's one of our quotes. That was a nugget right there. So you have to want it for yourself.
Exactly.
And because if you don't want it for yourself, then who's gonna want it for you?
Like your parents can't. You're yourself. You're your boss of yourself. You can't. Your parents can help you with it, but if you don't want it, then you're not gonna get it.
And I think it's.
I need you in my class.
Yeah.
Yes. Talk to my kids. Anyway.
I was thinking about it. If I came home with all C's, obviously I would be disappointed in myself first. But if my parents weren't upset or anything, I'd be like, "What's wrong with you guys? Like, aren't you supposed to be on my butt? Like what's going on? Like ground me for my Xbox or something. Like do something to me." Because that just wouldn't feel right to me. Because I've grown up like that all my life, and I feel like a lot of kids should be raised like that, to where if you don't meet the expectations, then you got to pay the price for it.
Honestly, I'm harder on myself on my grades than anyone.
So you're your toughest critic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Ava, what about you?
If I came home with all C's,
how would you want to be motivated to turn it around?
first I'd probably have my teacher help me like after school or like at study hall, like to come in at study hall and get some extra help. And since my mom's a teacher, maybe get some help from her. And yeah.
Okay. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, would you want a parent to say, "What's wrong with you? You better get it together, or I'm gonna give you a little something. You think this is bad? I'll show you bad."
Oh, yeah.
I
I've
feel
heard that one.
I
I've heard
feel
that
like
one.
if your parents are tough on you, they just want the best for you, and if they're not tough on you, then you're just gonna fail. Like if you fail, you're just gonna think, and you're gonna think it's okay, and your parents are just not like gonna say anything.
Right.
But if you say something, it's gonna make you think like that's not okay. Like I just made my parents disappointed in myself, and I'm disappointed in myself. If your parents don't tell you or discipline you in any way, you're not gonna learn.
Exactly.
This is so fascinating to hear.
Man, she is.
Yes.
They're both going on.
Yes, these nuggets. What's fascinating to me is, and this kind of leads to one of the other questions, is you guys want your parents to direct you and correct you. I'm assuming we're saying like sternly, but lovingly.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
to not just say, "Oh, well, that's okay," everything is just peaches and cream, but you want your parents to be on you,
Oh, yeah.
to get you going, when things are maybe not to your standards or to theirs as well.
So when you get to college, your professors aren't gonna let you like, oh, you get 10 points extra credit, or like,
No.
you don't, if you make a below a 70 or something, I don't think you can correct it. And they're just gonna tell you in class. They're probably not gonna send out anything. You better listen in there, take notes. And right now, our parents are preparing us for college and life.
Yeah.
And not just in college, but later in high school, especially when you're taking AP dual credit classes, they treat it like a college class. And shout out to Miss Romero out there, but like we have one exam every quarter, and if you don't do good on that exam, your grade's screwed pretty much.
Yeah.
So you got to study for it. So I did with like an 85 in there this quarter. That's terrible for me, but yeah, you just gotta work towards the bigger picture, I guess.
Yeah. Ava, how do you feel when you're lovingly prodded to get it together? How do you feel about that?
I would want that because it would motivate me more and make me let me know that I need to work harder and get my grades up or whatever.
Gotcha.
Next question, we'll go ahead and hop into it. What are some external factors outside of school that impact your ability to focus on school? Like the loss of a loved one, dating,
You better
personal
not be
issues?
dating yet. Anyway.
Yeah, come on.
You bet. I wish you would.
And how would you deal with these challenges?
So I will say that I lost my grandparents at a very young age, and I don't really remember. So it doesn't really affect me in school. And my grandpa's died before I was even born. So I knew that, like, I knew my grandparents, but I don't really remember them because it was such at a young age. The only thing that I would think like affected, like that would ever affect me, is like maybe like friends at school were being rude, or like sometimes it can't, like they can be rude, but I don't ever have that really happen, like get me off focused.
Yeah.
I just it's like in the past, like if they're going to be rude to you, they're not like your true friend, like they'll be with you through everything. I mean, having an argument is like natural,
Right.
but if they're like rude to you just to like be rude, or it's just like you didn't do anything, they just went up to you and said something rude, that would probably affect me.
Yeah.
But like nothing from like losses really, because I haven't really experienced that yet. So the only thing I would think of like in my age would be like drama, or like friends being rude.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing that would help me with that was to be doing things that make me happy, like orchestra, choir, and hanging out with friends and family. just talking.
That's awesome.
So for you, Ava, it's having an outlet so that you're not caught up in focusing on it all the time. So for you, having that extra thing to immerse yourself into, kind of, it helps you to work through those tough times. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Awesome.
There you go. And I can add a little bit to that. Thankfully, I haven't had to deal with the loss of a loved one first. But, you know, I am dating right now. I do have a girlfriend. Shout out Ava out there. She's going to hate me for shouting her out, but throw it out there.
Yeah, I got a boo.
And you already know.
Booed up. All right. I'm trying to say all the cool stuff, but I know.
Yeah,
Cool slang.
Yeah, the cool slang.
Slang.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's dope. You guys know it? Anyway, that's fresh. Anyway.
But yeah, like what Ava said, you know, just doing not my Ava, this Ava that we're talking to right here. Just doing stuff that you love, you know, just hanging out with your friends, doing stuff you love. Like I go play basketball, like a low hoop all the time. You know, we just have a lot of fun, play football, and you know, just go out to eat whenever, and yeah, you just gotta take your mind off stuff a lot. So, because school's tough, and you know, there's a lot of stuff that incorporates into that.
My mom always says take it out on the mat, like my karate
Yeah.
when I'm mad. But when I go to karate, it always makes everything better. I have the best friends at karate. They're
awesome.
always loving. My teachers are great. I love them so much. Shout out to Bushokai.
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 My friend
Yeah.
goes there.
Shout
What's
out
her
Jackie
name?
Chan.
What's her name?
Okay,
It's
well,
him.
okay, yeah, okay, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after that. That reminds me of you guys see the Karate Kid?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the original one.
Yes.
The remake's better though.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh come on.
I'm more of a Karate Kid purist.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah, I'm a purist, but
Yeah.
but you know, I'll be open. I may try and check that
You
out.
should. You should. It's
I
good.
should.
It's a good one.
I should open up myself to new ideas
You should.
as an older person.
Everybody should.
Okay, all right.
should.
Thank you, young people, for that.
For sure.
So, when is it? So, kind of piggybacking off of this. So, there are times when you're going through your own personal trials and things that are happening. When is a good time for? Maybe the better way to ask it is, when is a good time for a parent to intervene into a situation versus letting you work stuff out on your own? That's a good question.
It is a really good question, and I can answer real quick. You know, early on in life, I think it's a crucial part, up until high school, I believe. You know, elementary school, middle school, maybe even freshman, sophomore year. Parents should definitely intervene in your life, whether it's school or extracurriculars or stuff like that. But once you get to junior and senior, you're about to be an adult. Like, I'm literally going to college next year. That is insane to think about because I just do not think I'm ready for that.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I think that they should be really involved, especially in elementary and middle school. But yeah, like once you get to the later part of high school, I think they should start backing off a little bit and you know, just trying to help them get into college, and then they're free. They're just going to take all your money for college, but besides that, you're free.
Hey, Ava, what do you think about that?
I would, yeah, like my mom to intervene and all, like when I'm this age and when I'm younger and in school, and yeah, like he said, the extracurricular things.
Do you ever feel like there are times when you want to be like, Mom, I got this, or hey, or parents, you know, I got this. What are some types of times when, or maybe some situations that you feel like that you can't work through? What are some examples of some things that maybe you can think of? This is open to everybody, just so,
Right.
you know, like no matter where you are in the process, like, you know, I can handle this.
Well, you go ahead. Go ahead, Ellie.
Well, sometimes when I'm taking a test and, for example, like science, I know I can do it on my own because it's very easy for me. But like a different subject, maybe like history, I will ask my parents and they'll intervene and help me. And my dad loves history, so he'll always be there and tell me like what it's about and how to remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, you know, I just zoned out for a second. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I just forgot what we were talking about for a second. So, well, she was talking about. I saw something about, heard something about history with her dad. You know, my dad's a history major, so shout out to my dad out there. But yeah, I just zoned out, man. I was looking.
It happens, yeah.
Looking at this Texas skyscraper over there.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It kind of reminds me of students in school sometimes.
Yeah. I zone out all the time. Gosh,
Teaching our hearts out.
kills my grades.
I'll ask you a question, huh? What?
Pretend listening.
Right.
Yeah,
Then they
for real.
try and play it off. So that's all right. We'll just keep on. We'll just keep on moving here.
What are the type of boundaries should parents have in your life? Is there ever a good time for a parent to say no, or should parents say yes to everything that you want?
I can answer this one really quickly. If you do not say no to some things, your child could grow up as maybe, I'm just going to say maybe like a brat. And be rude if you don't set boundaries. Like if you say yes to everything, they're going to expect that from everyone.
yeah.
And when they get older. So if they're ever said no to, or somebody ever says no to them, they could they could start throwing a fit, or they would think it's unfair because their parents haven't taught them that. And that's really important for parents to discipline their children.
Yes. All right. What other insights do you guys want to share on that?
It's awesome. I mean, it's not awesome at the time when you hear the word no,
yes, they
but
told me
like
no.
looking back on it, you know, when I first got my license, you know, I wanted to go to a Mavericks game in Dallas, and you know, Dallas is 45 minutes from my house, and my dad didn't want me to drive there, and he said no. Like, he said no. So I don't think I ended up going to that Mavericks game. But you know, as I started to get a little bit older and a more experienced driver, because looking back on it, when I first got my license, I was terrible. I don't even know how I passed my driving test. But
Took me 5 times.
really,
I couldn't parallel park to save my life.
oh well. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I paid at a place to take the test instead of a DMV, and so I hit the curb on parallel parking.
Oh, no.
But and then I was like, oh man, because I thought I failed. I was like, forget this. Let me just whip on out of here, and you know, I failed, whatever. God, I'm so mad. And then she's like, well, you got a 74. You lost all your points for parallel parking. I'm like, I could care less if I got a 74 or a 94. I passed the test. Like, just give me the paper and let me get out of here. So, but yeah, yeah. So I think it's really good to hear the word no every once in a while, because that's not the way it's going to be later in life. You're always not going to hear yes.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Ava, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like what both of them, I don't even know, but both of them said it's the same thing. You just have to have boundaries, and hearing no once in a while is a good thing, because, yeah.
So, Ava, so how do you deal with no? How do you deal with no? Mommy, can I? Nope.
Sometimes I get mad, but other times
Talk to
I
me about that for a second, Ava.
Yeah.
I want to park there for a second. Tell me about that. How do you get mad? Because you seem so nice and sweet, and your demeanor, but I think you got. Talk to me about that.
when I'm mad, I talk back,
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
and I get in trouble.
Mm.
Yeah, I've kind of learned about that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, as a
Talking about that. Okay, yeah. Let's. I'm going in now. Let's go there.
Okay.
Tell you no, you don't like it, or you're just like, oh, thank you, mother and father, for telling me no.
sarcasm.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Thanks a lot. I say that all the time. Yeah, thanks a lot, Dad. Means appreciate it, dude. Yeah, I give him sarcasm.
Oh, sarcasm.
Oh, that's not good.
The way I get rid of my anger though, lately I've just been going to my room and I just punch my pillows. Like I just go hard on my pillows. You know, that's helped me a little bit, you know. And then I just get really tired, and then I usually end up just taking a quick nap or something like that.
Sleep it off.
Just sleep it off, and then I was like, oh, sorry, Dad. Like,
Yeah.
But-
And usually when I'm angry, I'm like hangry. That's what my parents tell me. They're like, oops, someone's hangry. I'm like, no, I'm not. And so then I I get fed, and then I'm like, I'm sorry. And then I like,
apologize.
yeah,
Kind of like those Snickers commercials.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not you when
Snickers
you're hungry,
commercials?
baby. You're not you when you're hungry.
To calm myself down when I'm angry, I just go to my room and just sit there for a second and just
Think
calm
about
down.
it.
Honestly, I have such a guilty conscience when I do that, and I
Same.
can't hold a grudge. Like, I can never hold a grudge.
Yeah.
I know, I can't either.
It's like my conscience is like, go apologize or go say something and make it right. So I could never
Yeah.
hold a grudge ever.
Wow.
I mean, I've held a couple grudges in my life.
He said, well,
For
that's
sure.
good for you. Good for you, ladies.
Yeah, good for you guys. I try to get past stuff with people, but when people are just rude or mean for no reason, I just can't. I don't know if I can, unless they apologize. I can't find it a way in my heart to, forgive them, unless they apologize to me. So I think that's a big thing. You got to apologize. It means a lot when somebody apologizes.
Yeah.
Like I had a huge grudge with someone this past week, and they posted something like, "If I've been really rude the past couple of weeks and stuff like that. I apologize to you," because like the girl was like just picking fights for no reason. I'm like, come on, man. I'm just focused on the positive things in my life, positive vibes only. So, but yeah, I try not to hold grudges, but sometimes you got to do it.
How do you feel about parents apologizing to you when maybe, well, not me, because I'm the perfect parent, but
Yeah.
for other parents,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I never make mistakes.
Yeah.
But for all those other parents out there, get it together, parents. How do you ever feel like parents don't apologize enough?
No, I don't think your parents really owe you any explanation. They're your parents.
Oh man.
And so if they don't want to apologize to you, then they don't have to. Like, they own you. Like, you live in their house, you go by their rules. If they don't have to tell you anything. Like, one time I wanted something and then my mom was like, no, and I was like, why? She goes, I don't owe you an explanation. So, like, but if my parents did something wrong, then they will obviously apologize to me. But I'm pretty much in the middle of it. Like, I started sometimes. That's why.
Oh, so you instigate stuff.
Allie sounds exactly like my mom and dad, man. Jeez.
I don't think my mom ever does anything really wrong, but like when I get mad,
Ooh, wow, that's
like I always go and apologize to her.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that.
I feel like my parents are never, like, towards me. It only starts when I say something or, like, I argue with my mom, and then she, like, sets the boundaries and tells me, like that wasn't okay, and I get mad because I'm like, but you started it and blah blah blah.
yeah.
Right.
And then
yeah.
I'm like, why won't you answer? Or like, why can't I have this? And my mom and dad are like, we don't owe you anything. You live here.
I mean, that's true.
And I'll be honest, and one day you'll feel the same way I do. I used to hate it when they would say to me, I'd ask for something, and I said, well, why? And then they would
I
say,
don't give you a good explanation.
because I said so.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh no.
And
And I'm like, but why? And they're like, because I said so.
that's right. And
That's
you know
my
what?
brother.
Literally, all kids want is just a logical explanation. That's all
Right.
we want. You
Right.
know, like when you say "because I said so," okay, what does that mean? What's the explanation behind that? That really makes me mad when parents say
Yep.
that.
Oh, okay,
It's
it's
like-
coming to the service now. Okay.
Yeah, for real.
Yes, all right.
The pillows,
Talk
the pillows get to work whenever I hear.
Oh
Whenever
gosh.
I get that explanation.
Oh man, that's it.
But yeah, it just doesn't make any sense, And I can hear myself saying that when I get older for sure.
Oh yeah, you will.
Oh
feel
yeah, I
bad.
definitely will.
And you know what? It feels good.
I feel bad for
Uh-oh.
your pillows.
Oh.
Yeah.
They go through.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
it does feel good. I do it in class all the time. My students will say, Mr. Bailey, you hear me? Blah, 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 blah. No. Why? Because I said so.
And then you're like, but what? And then they're like, because I said so. And then I'll be like, but why? And they're like, because I said
That's
so.
right. Yeah, you want to sit on the curb? Yeah, you about to sit on the curb next. Anyway, I'm
Man.
going to get a little TV into how we used to go back and forth in my class. Anyway, yes.
I've been my phone's been buzzing like crazy lately, and I just checked. It's my dad, and he's like spamming up all that. He's listening to the show right now. So, Dad, if you could please stop spamming my phone about what I'm saying, I'd appreciate that.
That's funny.
we can talk about this later.
That's
Oh
funny.
man. So,
Don't hit that one.
the next question: how vulnerable should parents be about their personal experiences to help you work through things in life? How much do you want to know? For instance, saying, "Well, back in my day."
I hate that. It's so boring. Like, back
Boring.
in my day, like...
That's right.
Because, like, I'm very picky. I'll be very honest with you. I only really eat chicken nuggets and stuff like that. And my dad, he lived in Africa for a little bit. And anything there, they would just eat it. Like, spicy food, whatever was served, they would have to eat it. And not me. Like, if my parents make a dish and I don't want to try it, and they don't even ask me anymore. They're like, of course, you don't want to try it. And sometimes when I try, I end up really liking it. And then my parents are like, look what you missed out of for, like, all the years. And my dad will just be like, well, back in my day, like, I haven't had this since, like, when I was 13, or, like, back then we would pick mangoes from the tree. And
That's right.
And they would be happy with just playing soccer outside, or, like, with a rock or something. And they would be happy
That's right.
being together. And I'm
entertain
like,
you kids all the time.
yes,
I always
because
wanna
my
be
mom is like,
entertained.
entertain yourself, because I'm always like, can we go do this, can we go do that? And then she's like working, and then she goes, find something to entertain yourself. And they'll be like, but back then, like, blah blah blah, we entertained ourselves with anything.
Yes, go outside and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I personally, I hate the back in my day talk. All right,
Yeah.
listen, Dad, that was 40, 50 years ago. All right,
The 21st century.
It is. You know, we can't do stuff that you did back in the day. Like, I get it. You have all these cool stories and stuff about all this crap. It's definitely just a different.
Hey, now, young man, watch it.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
No, I'm not talking about that.
No. But yeah, I just don't think it's relevant to the century.
Hey, well, how do you feel about that?
One time, my mom and I were talking about phones, and she said when she was younger, iPhones didn't even exist.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so
That's kind of true.
The telephone booth. What you know about that? What you know about telephone booth?
Nothing.
Because
Literally nothing.
I wanted the iPhone XR.
Oh, man.
And I finally convinced my parents, because they were like, you can get it, like, when you turn 14. Like, your phone's not even done paying for. And I know this is going to sound, like, weird, but by some miracle, my phone stopped working. So we had to get a new one. And I had to get a new one.
You just had
So
to.
I
You just had to
finally
get
got
that
it.
XR.
And my mom is like, well, we didn't even have phones back then. We didn't have to text. We just mailed people, or, like, went outside and talked to them. We didn't just text them from 2 feet away, because sometimes, like, our friends, we do that. Like, we just text. And we're in the same car, like, the same room.
In the same car? You're texting in the same car?
Sometimes.
Like, they'll be, like, right there, and you will not talk to them.
Yeah.
for real.
And you'll text them. Wow. That is interesting. Yeah, so, I mean, there's something to actually having, human interaction, face-to-face, and sharing, and,
Our generation has gone away from that, from iPhones.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so I think, because back in my day, we couldn't text. We had to, I remember when I went off to college, like, I'd have to write hand letters. I couldn't get on the phone. I didn't have a cell phone. So you have to write letters by hand.
My mom still makes me do that for gifts for my birthday or a gathering, and I get gifts.
Oh, yeah.
I have to send out
yes.
no calling. Like, I can't call or text handwritten to everyone.
yeah.
That's how my grandma is.
And I have so much family. It's like my hand starts aching. And my mom, like, sometimes I don't really know what to say, so she'll write it down on, like, a piece of paper, and she'll put it inside the envelope and say, dear blah blah blah, thank you so much for the gift of money, it'll be put to my account. And so then I'll write that, and then it'll be, like, different for everyone else.
Yeah.
And I hate writing them because it just takes too much time.
It takes too much time
Yeah,
to.
I hate writing in general.
Oh.
I honestly do like writing. I will say that. I like writing stories. I like to write. I do.
That's good. It's one of those things where probably one of the challenges with students today is with everything being instant. Everything is at the tip of your fingers.
Calculator.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was a very anti-calculator teacher. Y'all would have hated me. But just engaging with one another. And so when you have a reading passage in school, and you have to read it and think about it and process it, where we're in this texting instant, just shoot a face to somebody. You're not even like an emoji.
And then your teachers are like, no phones, nothing. And then you get mad at them, and, like, no calculators or anything. And then you're like, then how
That's
am I going
right.
to do this? And they're like, you learned that in second grade.
That's right. You gotta think. You have
Exactly.
to use your brain. Yes. Anyway, I'm going back. I'm going to my old school. Okay, so yeah, I could go on, but I won't. All right. So let's keep on going.
Yes,
here.
sir.
So we already talked about this. So what are reasons that students may not come to a parent when you're going through something?
Because they're afraid your parents are going to be mad or disappointed.
Yes.
And that is probably the biggest reason ever. Or someone just not comfortable sharing it with their family. But honestly, I share everything with my mom. And I think if your parents are like, maybe they are just disappointed in you, that you realize that, hey, I need to get this together. And you think about it when they're disappointed in you. You think about it because maybe they'll take away something from you, like your electronics, and then you'll sit in your room and think about it and study and be like, okay, I really need to get myself together, and I just need to maybe take a break from something and just study more than be on Fortnite or something.
One time,
Go ahead, Ava.
one time I got like a 64 on a math test,
Oh man.
and I was really scared to tell my mom. When I did, and like I just brought my grade up, but I was still really scared to tell my mom.
Oh yeah.
So did she find out because of you, or did she find out because of Skyward?
I told her I don't even know what Skyward
Okay,
is.
or whatever your grading system is that they have at your school. So you were proactive and went to your mom and told her, hey, just before you see it yourself, I scored the 64.
Yes.
And how did you feel after you said that?
I felt better that I got it off my chest.
Yeah.
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 Honestly, I'm not afraid to tell my mom. She knows that I'll probably get things handled or take care of it. I'm very persuasive to my teachers. My teachers love me, so if I ask for really anything like from them, they'll be like, yeah, you can you can sharpen these pencils and I'll give you like some extra credit.
Man, I wish we could do that in high school. I'd
And
sharpen
then
all
my
the
dad
pencils.
is like, he tells me, Allie, like, when you get to college, that's not an option. Like, your teachers are nice to you now, but they're not going to give you extra credit for doing anything. Or, like, if you make, like, an 80, my history teacher will let us correct it on something. And my dad is like, you're not going to have that when you get to high school or
That's
college.
true. Yeah. So you are a charmer. Yeah, you can butter them up. Yeah, my philosophy in school was, I didn't believe in extra credit.
Right.
And extra credit is get a higher grade. Get a higher grade, your grade goes up.
And that's how a lot of teachers in high school are. You know, if we had that sharpen the pencils option, I'd set a Guinness Book of World Records for the most pencil sharpened.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about you, Hunter? How do you feel about about this topic?
I can remember back in freshman year, the class I got a bad grade in, and I got that grade back. I got like a 30 on a quiz or something. It was bad. It was
Good
terrible.
job.
That teacher, that teacher was a coach, and then the coach midway through the year he got a new job and he left. Shout out to Coach Mauser, he's a great coach. But anyway. I got like a 30 on a quiz, and I was like, crap, I'm going to be screwed. Like, I don't want to tell my dad about this. And then midway through class, I guess he had already entered the grade into the grade book, and my dad had checked the grade. And so I get a text, hey, boy, that phone's mine when you get home. You come on. And I'm like, oh, man, I gotta get out of here. Come on.
Oh no.
Thankfully, I haven't had that text in about 3 years, so. I've been on top of it ever since, but yeah, I get bad grades. I get some bad grades every once in a while.
It happens. You're not perfect. No one's perfect.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
No one's perfect.
This is a good transition to how should parents help you work through failure? How's your parents in
a loving way. Don't be like I wouldn't be harsh, maybe like too harsh, unless they're like arguing with you and like, no, like that was fine. Like I made a 30 on a test, like that's the best I could do, and your parents know that's not the best you can do, and inside I could have done way better than that.
Yeah.
But you're trying to defend yourself in that moment because you don't want to get yelled at or you don't want to face the consequence.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to have it the harsh way and learn.
Yeah. Ava, what about you?
Same thing as her. Yeah, just you have to have a loving parent and that cares for you and that helps you go through stuff.
Right.
It's not like they want to be rude to you. They're just giving you the truth.
Exactly.
They want the best for you.
And my dad does it by loving, stuff like that. But honestly, I think my Uncle Todd, I think he
Shout out to Uncle Todd.
Shout out Uncle
Yeah.
Todd. I know he's listening to
This
the
is
Bassmaster Todd. But
Yeah, a lot of shout outs.
I know, for real. You got to get the love in. But yeah, he's been through a lot more in his life than my dad has. My dad's always been this. He's like my little brother. He's always been this straight A student, never done anything wrong in his life. So I think my uncle can give me a little bit better advice through failure because he's failed more times than my dad has. So, I mean, I'm not trying to diss on my dad, but I'm just spitting some facts.
I'm just spitting truth.
I'm just spitting the truth. But yeah, I think I think parents can help you through failure by sharing their failures and how they got through that. For sure.
That's awesome. So as we're wrapping up here, what's the final nugget of advice you would like to share with parents out there? This is open mic. Go for it.
Don't be afraid to discipline your kids.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd say that. And I think parents really got to grasp how hard kids' lives are. Obviously, we just go to school. We don't have a job, and that's the thing you always say. All you do is go to school. That's it. I go to school, right, and then
your parents are like, we went to school at 1.2.
and then I gotta exactly. And it's like, I go to school, right? I gotta practice after school, right? I gotta announce this basketball game after school, right? And I got so much more than just school, And yeah, I think parents really got to realize that it's more than just school. Kids are going through a lot nowadays. I've been through a lot throughout my childhood. But I think parents really just got to grasp how much kids go through because it's more than they think.
Yeah.
Just just understanding.
Just understanding.
Even though, okay, great. I know you went through it yourself, but I'm going through it now and have a little more empathy for where I'm at in my life. Ava, what would you like to share as a parting thought?
You can be harsh on your kids, like if they do something wrong, and you can set boundaries, but also be loving and caring at times because they will probably need that.
Yeah,
For sure. For sure.
Wow. Unfortunately, we are out of time.
Man,
I know.
time flies when you're having fun.
Yep.
Yes. So thank you for joining us,
Thank you.
Ava, Allie, and Hunter. It's been an honor. This is
Yes, sir.
we don't get a chance to.
Thank
and
you.
you guys are in school when we do our episodes, so it's great you guys took some time out of spring break to come all the way down here to share with us today.
Yes, sir.
So thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And parents, I think there's a lot of great nuggets in here of wisdom from children. I know we have, we've learned from our experience as well, but your children are listening and they're paying attention and they're watching how we lead them. And they want us to love them and they want us to correct them. And support them as well. So thank you for that insight.
Yes, sir, for sure.
So I always want to let you know about what's happening with Noggin. And so, as I mentioned last week, we started Noggin Educational Coaching started the group Empowering Parents for Academic Success. And the purpose of this Facebook group is to come alongside parents and show them provide resources and support on how to support their kids from home so that you can help them to drive them towards academic success. So please join. Love to have you guys come into the group and share your experiences, share your wisdom, articles, videos, anything that can inspire other parents to help your children move forward. We love for you to be a part of the group.
Sure.
Next week's show is on mentors. And so we're going to bring on two experts to talk about mentoring. Adam Grubb, he's the pastor of the community at Lake Ridge Church. And Lawrence Marshall, he is the founder of Integrity Mentors. And is sharing their insights on mentoring, why it's important, and how you as a parent and your children can benefit from mentoring. As always, head to our website, schooldayshow.com, for more information. And remember, you don't ever have to miss a show. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, and Stitcher. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And it's at Noggin Foundation. We always end the show by saying that we parent by grace, and that we depend on God to give us the wisdom and strength we need to raise our kids into flourishing adults. I know it's a reason we just say it, but looking at these young people here, this is why we do what we do. This is why we have the show. And I just want to encourage you in that. And if you want to know more about this, email us at info@schooldayshow.com. And we want to encourage you, as always, to just to support and love your children, and to we would love for you just to have a great week and check in with us, and we are here to help you at any given time. So thank you.
Sure.
God bless you guys. Thank you guys again for coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
And you guys have a great week.
School